Troubling and unacceptable. That's how Jackson's mayor and police chief describe the latest developments in a triple homicide we've been covering for you all week.
JPD's chief says the gun used to kill a toddler, his mother, and his aunt is believed to have been stolen from a marked police car. 3 News Side's Quentin Smith joins us now with continuing coverage of this case. Quentin, do we know how that gun was stolen?
Well, Howard, someone broke into a police car and stole it. Now, the gun that was stolen is a semi-automatic short-barreled rifle. It was a department-issued gun that belonged to a SWAT officer. Now, let me walk you through how police say we got to this point. Roughly 2 months ago, there was a series of car burglaries at different apartment complexes here in Jackson. At least 2 marked JPD cars were broken into, including the one belonging to the SWAT officer. Police Chief Rochelle Brackney says whoever broke into the cop car stole the rifle. Earlier this week, when police pulled over 2 of the suspects charged in the triple homicide, investigators recovered multiple weapons, including that stolen gun. Brackney says an initial crime lab analysis shows a stolen police rifle was used in Saturday's killing. Tonight, the mayor and police chief say whoever stole the gun bears some responsibility for the 3 homicides.
The fact that this firearm was recovered in possession of the homicide suspects underscores the seriousness of the original theft. This was not a misplaced weapon. It was stolen during the commission of a felony after criminals unlawfully entered a marked police vehicle.
The people who committed these brutal acts of violence made a deliberate choice to use that weapon to take innocent lives. To the victims' families, I want you to know, and I want you to hear this directly from me, the city stands with you, and we will not stop until justice is served in this case.
Now, that deadly shooting happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night on Queen Alexandria Lane in West Jackson. It claimed the lives of 2-year-old Kamari Gibbons, his mother, 25-year-old Kiana Weathersby, and her sister, 30-year-old Erica Weathersby. At this time, police have not released a motive for the shooting, but Chief Brackney says the victims and the suspects knew one another. The chief also says all 3 victims were targeted, including the toddler. So far, 4 people have been arrested. 28-year-olds Cornelius Carter and Jordan Carter, who are not related, and 25-year-old Michaela Young are all charged with capital murder. Devon Montecure was arrested in Texas and will be brought back to Jackson. He will be charged with capital murder. Now, when it comes to the gun that was stolen in this crime, Brackney says the analysis from the state crime lab has not been completed. She expects to know more information on Monday. And of course, we will continue to follow this developing story for you and bring you more details as they become available. Quentin Smith, 3 on your side.